Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make my real-life, actual house in Minecraft. Well, kind of. I've made my real house in Minecraft before, and it looks like this. You should now see an image on the screen of what my real house looks like built in Minecraft. As you can see, it's just a tad bit boring. I've been getting loads of requests to not only show you guys how to make that house, but I've also been getting loads of requests to make a British house. So what I've done is I have taken my house, the image that you've just seen, and I have just given it a little bit of a facelift. I haven't tried to change it all that much. I wanted to keep the structure the same. I just wanted to make it a little bit nicer, just so that it's not an abomination in your world. But I've been getting so many requests to make that actual house, to show you how to make my actual house in Minecraft. I didn't want to do that version. I did want to do a version which would actually transfer better over into the Minecraft world, and this is what I've came up with. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't want to just completely copy the original version of my house that I made, because like I said, it doesn't look very good in Minecraft. It looks a lot better in person. So if you do enjoy this video, please do drop the video a like. I'd really appreciate it. It took a long time to actually make the original version of the house, to get it completely right, and it's taken even longer to then just adjust it a little bit to make it a bit more appealing to look at. So I'd really appreciate it if you could give the video a like. I honestly would. And if you wouldn't mind, if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, say hello down there in the comment section. I'd love to welcome you to the channel. Also, do click that little bell next to the subscription button, and that'll mean that you get all of my videos sent straight to your sub box. I realise that I've been talking for absolutely ages now, so why don't I actually show you how to make my actual house in Minecraft? So, if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some block of quartz, some quartz stairs, some quartz slabs, some pillar quartz blocks, some hardened clay, some stone brick stairs, some stone brick slabs, some dark oak wood stairs, and some dark oak wood slabs. Plus, we'll need all of the other materials that you can see in the inventory right there. You may want to pause this video, grab everything that you see, and once you have all your materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it in this area down here. You guys can see the clay rectangle. The house, including the front garden, including the back garden, including everything, will fit into a 27, so 27 going this way, by a 44 going that way, block area. So if you want to map this out on the ground, figure out where it's going to be built, then you can. However, for the rest of us, you're going to want to begin, and by the way, I'm going to build in from the front left-hand corner of this rectangle. So let's say that you've got the rectangle on the ground. Let's say you have built it, right? We're going to start on this block, and we're going to count in to the right, and we're going to find the 8th block in. So this is the first block, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th. We're now going to count in, and we're going to count in and find the 8th block in. So this is the first, second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. This is where we're going to build the house. On top of this block, we want to stack a hardened clay. Going right of this, we're going to do 2 upside down quartz stairs. Then, I'm going to place a pillar quartz block. Then, I'm going to go right by 3 with the block of quartz. That's 1, 2, 3. Then, another pillar quartz block. Then, 2 upside down quartz stairs. Then, 1 hardened clay. I'm then going to go back from that clay by 3. 1, 2, 3. I then want to go right by 1 with the pillar quartz block, then 1 with the hardened clay. I'm then going to move forward by 1 with the hardened clay, and now what we're going to do is a little bit tricky. So we want to have an upside down quartz stairs in this position. You kind of need another block to place. You need another block to place this block, but it wants to look like this. Then going right of that, we want to place a pillar quartz block, followed by a dark oak wood block, followed by a, we then want to do another pillar quartz block, and then we want to have the same kind of like upside down quartz stairs, however this time we can place it. Then, still going right, we want to place a hardened clay, like so. Now, going back from that hardened clay, we want to place we want to go back by 1 with the hardened clay. We then want to place a pillar quartz block to the right of that. We then want to go back from the pillar quartz block with the hardened clay by 14. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then we want to place a pillar quartz block. Then we're going to, from this pillar quartz block, we want to move inwards by 1, so towards the center of the house again. We then want to move towards us by 1. We then want to go right by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we want to do 2 upside down quartz stairs. Then we want to place a hardened clay and move inwards by 2, 1, 2. Actually by 1, I apologize. So we want to move in by 1. Then we want to place a pillar quartz block. We then want to go behind that pillar quartz by 1 with the hardened clay. And then right by 11 with the hardened clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can then actually connect this 11th hardened clay all the way to the very front of the house. So we want to have something which should actually look a little bit like this. So you can see what percentage of this house is actually house and what percentage is garden. It's quite a lot of garden. It's almost as big as the house. So once you've got that taken care of, we're now going to start adding details to the house. We'll begin with the front and we'll work our way around from there. So starting with the very first hardened clay block that we placed, we want to go up by 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm going to go right by 1 with the hardened clay. Then I'm going to place a block of quartz. I then want to do 4 upright diagonals with the quartz. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I want to do 4 bottom right diagonals with the quartz. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I then want to go down with the hardened clay until we, my apologies. We want to go down by 1 with the hardened clay, and then go right by 1, and then we want to go down with the hardened clay. My mistake. So we want to have something which should look like this. What we can now do is we can connect these top 2 rows of hardened clay together, left to right. Then we can take out our white stained glass pane. So what we want to do is we want to add a block of quartz underneath each one of the pre-existing blocks of quartz that we have at the top here. And then we want to place white stained glass pane inside of this empty area. So this is just all the way up at the top of the house, and that's what we want. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. So let's add in the windows to the house. The windows to the house, we have a set down here. So where we have the upside down quartz stairs at the bottom, we want to add 2 layers of glass on top of these stairs. So I'm using the pane here. We want to add 2 layers of glass. I'm going to do the same thing to the left as I'm doing to the right and vice versa. And then you want to add a layer of quartz stairs on top of this, like that. We're then going to add 2 layers of hardened clay on top of these stairs. So as you can see, we're just adding the hardened clay on top of the stairs. Then we're adding a layer of upside down quartz stairs, like this. Then we're going to add 2 more layers of glass on top of what we have. And then we will finish this off by adding another layer of quartz stairs regular facing, like this. And then we can just fill the top of this thing in, if you like, with your hardened clay, like that. Now, what we now want to do is we're going to take these 2 pillar quartz blocks and we're going to extend them all the way up to the top of the house, or as far as we can go, really, like that. And what you can actually do is you can destroy the 2 blocks above these, and you can place an additional pillar quartz block. We're now going to do the entrance. So the entrance sits right at the bottom here, as you might imagine, and on top of the left hand and right hand blocks of quartz, we want to stack 2 dark oak wood stairs, as you can see me doing here. We then want to place regular facing quartz stairs, And in between those, we want to place the redstone lamps. Then we can just proceed to fill this. We can then proceed to fill, how many rows is this, guys? We want to fill 2 rows in with hardened clay. That's 1 row and then 2 row. And then we want to do a row of upside down quartz stairs. Then once again 2 rows of white stained glass pane. So that's 1 row and that is 2 row. And then we want to do a row of quartz stairs. And then what we want to do is we want to take the bottom row of quartz stairs and we want to place an upside down dark oak wood stairs on the left and right. We want to place a dark oak wood slab in between them at the bottom. At the top we want to place 2 dark oak wood stairs with a dark oak wood slab in between them at the top. We also want to take the pillar quartz blocks and we want to place an additional row of pillar quartz directly in front of what we have. We then want to place upside down dark oak wood stairs on top of this. And you know what, we'll also connect them to, we'll just connect them together at the top like that. That's what we'll do. There we go. Now what we want to do is we want to make a nice little overhang for the steps here because there's a nice little overhang above my front door. So where we have this row of quartz at the bottom, we're going to do a layer of stone slabs in front. We want to double up on them. We then want to take the bottom layer and extend them out by 1 row. We're then going to place a stone brick slab left and right of these stone slabs. Okay, so this overhang above my front door is located like this. So we want to miss half a row above the door and we want to place 2 rows of stone slabs like this to form a solid row. But as you can see, it is equidistant between the door and the window. We then want to take the bottom row and we want to do a row of stone brick slabs coming out of the bottom row. We want to place a stone slab in front of the top middle stone slab, and then up left and up right diagonally, we want to place a stone brick slab. We can then place ourselves some redstone lamps directly below the 2 blocks that we have just placed, and that is pretty much the front of the house, although there are a couple of things we can do as well. So grab yourself some cyan hardened clay and some wooden trapdoors, also buttons. It'd also be helpful if we had item frames. So for the front door, on the right, we're going to have a doorbell. So this doorbell is made out of a button and an item frame. You place the button and then you place the item frame in the top right hand corner. It's just in the in this position here, like to the right of the door. On the left, we have a little mailbox, like an external mailbox. So we're going to destroy this pillar quartz blocks. We're going to place a cyan hardened clay and a wooden trapdoor in front of the cyan hardened clay. We're then going to place buttons left and right of that. So now we have a little mailbox and we also have a doorbell. Now, once you've got that taken care of, that is for the most part the front of the house. So we're now going to move on a little bit and we're going to take care of the side of the house here. So on the side of the house, we have windows. Now, mine aren't actually as fancy as these, as you would have seen at the beginning of the video. Mine are nowhere near as fancy as these. I wish mine looked like this, but we're going to make some fancy, like, bay-style windows on the 1st and 2nd floor. So, where we have this bottom row of, like, upside down stairs and all of this stuff, right? Well, what we want to do is on top of the quartz stairs, we want to stack 2 dark oak wood stairs, just regular facing. We then want to place a sideways quartz stairs on top of the dark oak wood stairs, like this. We then want to place a row of upside down dark oak wood stairs to connect them. We then want to place a layer of dark oak wood slabs on top of the dark oak wood. We then want to fill the window in with white stained glass pane, like this, and we want to extend the bottom of the window, and we want to take the 2 pillar quartz blocks and we want to place quartz stairs in front of them, and then we want to connect them together at the bottom with a quartz slab, like that. At the top of the window, in front of the upside down dark oak wood stair blocks, we want to place a quartz stair, a regular facing one mind you, in front of the left and right hand blocks, and we want to connect them together half a row above like this. And just behind where we have this row of dark oak wood at the top, the oak wood slabs, we can stack a layer of block of quartz. So we want to have something which should look like that. And that's perfectly great. That actually looks fantastic. And later on, if you like, you can place like a flower pot or something on there. So what we're now going to do is above this window, we want to have another window. So we're going to place a layer of hardened clay directly above this window. So we just want to have a row of hardened clay that separates this window and the next window. So the next window is identical to this window down here. So we're going to start not on top of this hardened clay, but on top of this next one. As a matter of fact, we'll place a hardened clay on top of this left-hand block, and then it will make it easier for us to now place a sideways, upside-down quartz stairs in this position. We then, going right, want to place a pillar quartz block, then a dark oak wood blank, and a pillar quartz block, and then we want to have an upside-down quartz stairs like this. That's great. Then we're going to, on top of the stairs, place 2 rows of dark oak wood stairs, like that. We then want to have sideways facing quartz stairs in these positions on top of the dark oak wood stairs. We can then connect them together with a row of upside down dark oak wood stairs, of which we can then stack a row of dark oak wood slabs on top of. We're then going to fill the window in with white stained glass pane. In front of the pillar quartz blocks, we're going to place upside down quartz stairs and quartz slabs right at the bottom in between. We're then going to place quartz stairs at the top here, regular facing in front of the dark oak wood stairs, and we're going to place a quartz slab in between at the top. We can then place a row of block of quartz directly behind the top of the window, such as this, and then we can just... well, basically, now we just have to build up the walls. So the wall comes about as high as the side of the window. So we can now raise up... Okay, this is the best way to describe it. You see this pillar quartz block here on the right? Raise this up by 11 with your pillar quartz block. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is as high as the wall. So we can now make all of the hardened clay as tall as the pillar quartz block is. So all of the hardened clay that we have as a base can now be made as high as the row of pillar quartz block, and also extend the pillar quartz block that we have here in between the side part of the house, extend that up, and also do the same thing to the clay as well. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that, right? So once we've got that taken care of, we can now just like fill in the gaps in between these windows as well. So behind these windows, we're also going to have to add in some rows of hardened clay, just because otherwise you'll have like gaps in the house and that will not look very good. Right up at the top here, we're just going to connect the hardened clay together up at the top, and that looks great. And wherever we can just slot in our additional hardened clay blocks on the front as well. So you want to have an effect that should look exactly like that. That is perfectly great. Now, once you've got that taken care of, we're coming to the right-hand side of the house here, and we're now going to take every single one of these hardened clays. I'm just going to make sure that this is correct. Yep, we're going to take every single one of these hardened clays right here, right, and we are going to extend them upwards. So we're going to extend them up, and we're going to make them as high as the rest of the house. So we just want to extend all these up, make them as high as the house. You guys can see what I'm doing here. We're also going to have to destroy any blocks that we've kind of like inadvertently added to as well, but that's okay. And we also want to do the same thing, by the way, with the pillar quartz block that we have here at the back of the house. We can just extend that up. We're going to knock out these 2 hardened clays. So, on this particular side of the house, we're going to want to have... it's kind of like the outline for the roof, and you know what? The top of this doesn't want to be hardened clay. It actually wants to be like, it can either be pillar quartz block or it can be block of quartz. So just kind of like fix that mistake. And now we're going to, on top of the first block of quartz on the left, we're going to place a block of quartz, and then we're going to do 4 upright diagonals from it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, coming towards the back of the house. We're then going to go right, we're then going to come to the opposite end, so all the way down here at the bottom, we're going to take this first block of quartz coming in, we're going to place a block of quartz, and then we're going to do 4 up left diagonals. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to meet those 2 blocks in the middle, and then we are going to place white stained glass pane all the way inside here. So this is actually going to be a pretty big area of white stained glass pane, and I'll explain to you in a second, once we can see this, why this side of the house is just completely bare. So you can see this side of the house, there's nothing on it, right? There's a reason for that. In real life, my actual house, the one that I'm sitting in right now, is connected to another house. It's semi-detached. It's a common thing over in England. I don't know whether it is in America, probably. It's attached to another house, so therefore there's no windows or anything like this. This glass part doesn't even really exist in real life. So that's why it looks like this. And if you want to make the glass part look ever so slightly nicer, if you want to add anything to it, just to make it look a little bit better, like you can add a layer of like dark oak wood planks, like just underneath the quartz blocks, and it will make the place look a little bit nicer, and you can add any sort of fancy detailing that you want to add. However, I didn't do that in the original version of this house because, as I said, there's nothing here. It's like you can't even see this. This doesn't exist to the eye. But once you've got that taken care of, we can now come to the back of the house. So we're going to build this up now. So on the back of the house here, and let me just get my plans together, make sure that we've got this right. So on the back of the house, we're first of all going to raise up this pillar quartz block that we have in the middle of the back of the house, and we're going to raise it up once again by 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're also going to raise up the hardened clay to the left of that pillar quartz and in front of that pillar quartz as well. We want to take the window ledge that we have at the bottom, and we want to add 2 layers of white stained glass pane on top of this, and we want to add a row of quartz stairs on top of that. We're now going to fill these 2 rows in, coming up vertically, with hardened clay, like this. Now, we're going to do a row of hardened clay to the left of what we've just made. We also want to raise up these 2 rows of hardened clay, this one attached to the pillar quartz block, and this one in front. We then want to connect these 2 rows of hardened clay together at the top, and then underneath this we want to have a row of quartz stairs. Then underneath this we want to have 2 rows of glass. Then underneath that we want to have a row of upside down quartz stairs. Then, if you like, you can completely fill this part in with hardened clay. So this is what the back of the house looks like on this particular part. That's perfect. So moving over to this part of the house now, so this is like equal to the front of the house. We want to raise up this row of hardened clay just behind this row of pillar quartz block. We then want to go right of that row of hardened clay by 1 row with the hardened clay. We then want to do this. We want to go right, and we want to do a row of... Okay, so starting from this, on top of this row of hardened clay is what I'm trying to say. We want to go up on top of this row, and we want to go right, and we want to do 3 hardened clay. 1, 2, 3, going right. We then want to place a row of 3 dark oak wood stairs. That's 1, actually 2, 1 and 2. And then place a quartz stairs on top. Go right by 2. And then go down by 2 of the dark oak wood stairs. Then go right on top of the row of hardened clay that's still existing with your hardened clay. Extend this corner hardened clay block up until it is equal in height with the rest of the house. And then connect it all the way over to the left. So, like that. So this is actually like a French door. So that's what this is. Going left and right of the door, we want to have a row of 3 glass pane. Actually, we might use block for this because otherwise it might get a bit tricky. So I'm going to use white stained glass block. And we want to do a row of 1, 2, 3 blocks going left, 1, 2, 3 blocks going right. I'm then going to take the middle blocks and I'm going to extend them up by 1, and then I'm going to place hardened clay left and right of this. Now I'm going to take underneath these two windows, I want to have an upside down quartz stairs underneath the left and right blocks with a row of quartz slabs in between. I want to place quartz stairs in front of the left hand and right hand hardened clay blocks with quartz slabs in between the two quartz stairs. Now I'm going to place 2 rows of hardened clay directly above the windows and above the door. And now I'm going to begin windows again. So on the left here, on top of this row, I'm going to go right by 2 of the upside down quartz stairs, then 1 of the hardened clay. I'm then going to do a row of 3 upside down dark oak wood stairs, and then a hardened clay, and then I'm going to do 2 upside down quartz stairs. On top of the upside down quartz stairs, we want to traditionally place our white stained glass pane. So we want to place 2 rows, and then we want to place the quartz stairs on top of there. We can then fill this under part of the row in, so this row of hardened clay up at the top, we can fill that in with hardened clay. We can then separate the 2 side windows from the middle window with a row of hardened clay. We can then take the top row here, this empty top row, when we place a row of dark oak wood stairs inside of it, going from left to right. We want to fill the window in with white stained glass pane. Then we want to take the bottom of the window and the top of the window. We want to place at the bottom an upside down dark oak wood stair left and right, and we want to do a regular facing dark oak wood stair left and right at the top. We want to place a pillar, a quartz slab connecting each end of the window together, like just towards the center. You guys can see what I'm talking about. And once we've done that, we now have to shape this part of the house a little bit. So we want to come all the way up to the top right-hand corner of this part of the house, and we want to place a block of quartz in this position. So not on top of this corner block, 1 row in. We then want to go left of this block of quartz by 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1. Go back down to the block that you just went up from 1, and then go left by it, down, left, down, left, down, left, until you have the same shape on the back as you have the front. And then what you can do is you can just completely fill this in with white stained glass pane. So that's what we want to have right there. Now what we can do is we can move on to, you know what we'll do is, coming out of the back of the French doors, it leads to the garden. So underneath the French doors, I'm going to stack a layer of stone brick blocks. Then I'm going to do stone slabs going all the way around the back there, because there's a nice little step in which you can step out from, and that's what that is. And once you've got that sorted out, what we can also do, a material that we don't have, I believe, is some cobblestone wall. Well, you want to place a cobblestone wall going from the top of the house to the bottom house, here on the right, like I said, from the top to the bottom, and also on the front of the house here, just left of the front left-hand pillar, you want to place another row of cobblestone, and that is actually drain piping. It also adds a little bit of detail to the house, which is, it's kind of nice to just add the detail, to be honest. Okay, next thing we have to do is we have to connect the front of the house to the back of the house. We're going to do this by connecting the hardened clay row at the top, from left to right, from front to back. We then want to fill in, starting from the left, from the back, we want to fill in vertically a row of hardened clay. Then, starting from this top block that's still available to us, we want to go right by 2 of the quartz stairs. Then we want to do, underneath the stairs, 2 layers of white stained glass pane. Then we want to do a row of upside down quartz stairs. Now we want to come all the way to the front of the house, and we want to fill in 4 rows of hardened clay. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want to fill in 4 rows of hardened clay. Maybe even 5, actually. We'll make that 5 rows of hardened clay. And then we're going to do... Actually, here's a better way to do it, because otherwise I'm going to mess this up. Starting from this, you know the same row that we've attached the drain pipe to? Take the bottom hardened clay in that row, and then extend that bottom hardened clay outwards by 1 towards you. Go right of that hardened clay by 8, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then go up on top of this block by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then extend it, and then place a block of quartz on top of that, and extend it towards you by 6, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then extend it down to the ground with your hardened clay, and then take the block of quartz and extend it backwards by a further 18, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, connect it down to the ground using hardened clay. Then take that block of quartz again, extend it across until it is equal in length to the row of quartz that we have at the front. Connect it all the way to the quartz that you have at the front, like this. And also connect back down this back corner with hardened clay. And that will be a garage. For this garage, we're going to want to place, where is the block? We want to place a polished andesite inside of the front bottom center block. So it's right here. So like we want to leave this row alone right at the front. We want to place an andesite. We then want to place rows of quartz stairs coming up on top of the andesite until we hit the ceiling. Then in front of that andesite, we want to place a tripwire hook, and that's to open the garage. And we can now fill the walls of the garage in with hardened clay, or kind of, because the garage has 2 entrances. It has the main entrance that we've just done, right? But it also has a back entrance. You can get into the back of the garage, and it's kind of like a little storage area. So on the back of the garage, you want to fill the majority of it in, but you do want to leave enough room, like just enough room to put a door in. You just want to leave enough room at the back of the garage here to apply a door to it, which we'll do a little bit later on. But after that, you can then proceed to just completely fill in the sides of the garage with the hardened clay, and we'll also have to fill in the house, plus we have another window to add to the house as well, just next to the garage, which is why I created the garage before we put the window in, before we added any more rows of hardened clay, is because I wanted to make sure that the window was in the correct position, which is directly next to the garage entrance. And it seems as though that if I would have kept going, that I probably would have got that ever so slightly wrong, or maybe not actually looking at it. I might have actually got the perfect position, but we'll see. We also have to fill in the top of the garage with our block of quartz, which is what you can see me doing right here now. So we're just going to fill this in with our block of quartz, and then coming to the front of the build, we want to, in front of the top of the garage, we want to place, in front of the top 2 corners of the garage, we want to place dark oak wood stairs. We want to connect those dark oak wood stairs together with dark oak wood slabs, and we also want to connect these stairs down to the ground using our dark oak wood fence, just to make the garage look a little bit nicer. Now, we want to fill in the side of the house with our hardened clay, and we want to fill in the side of the house until we get to the front of the garage. So we want to start from the back, and we want to work our way forward until we are in line with the row of fence. Then at the bottom of this area here, we want to add a row of upside down quartz stairs. And then above that, we want to place our 2 rows of white stained glass paint. So, as always, we just want to add the white stained glass paint above the stairs. And then we want to add quartz stairs above that. And then we can continue to fill in the rest of this side of the house in with hardened clay. And that is the most of the house complete. We've done the majority of it. God, this house takes ages to make. Once you've got that sorted out, we can now do the roof. The roof's very easy. The roof is made out of basically stone brick stairs, and it is made out of dark oak wood stairs. There's not too much more to it. Oh, we'll also need dark oak wood slabs as well for the top part of the roof. Okay, so we want to do this. The side of the roof, might have to knock out a drain pipe here, the side of the roof is made out of dark oak wood stairs. So we start on the left and we want to have a row of dark oak wood stairs. Might also have to knock that one out as well. The roof of the house overhangs the front of the house by one row, as usual. The middle part of the roof is made out of stone brick stairs. Very, very easy. So, middle part of the roof, stone brick stairs, and we also... Does it want to go? Yeah, okay, so that's where the roof is. And like I said, the outer part of the roof, the part that overhangs, the very left-hand part of the roof, basically the very edges of the roof, like the part right at the bottom and right at the top, and the part that overhang, dark oak wood. However, we do also want to do something fancy to the roof on the front of the house and the back of the house as well, and even a little bit on the side. Where it connects here, we want to place upside down stone brick stairs underneath the part of the roof that overhangs the front and the back of the house. So we want to place our upside down stone brick stairs below the overhanging. And then we want to connect the bottom part of the roof together using stone brick slabs like this. So it connects nicely to the overhang on the front of the house, and it also connects everything very tidily right at the top. The roof also crosses the front of the house. So it crosses the front of the house and it comes all the way to the side of the house. So you want to be diligent and make sure that the roof connects properly. So it does want to wrap around the front of the house, and it wants to wrap around like this, you can see, and it wants to, like I said, come across this side of the house. And we are now just going to be careful, and we're going to make sure this roof might have actually been placed a little incorrectly on the right, but it's okay, it won't actually affect anything. So just make sure that the roof comes up in the same way. The way that we've actually done the roof, we've kind of goofed a little bit with the roof, but it's actually perfectly fine. You might notice that on the front, the stone brick stairs don't connect like that. Well, all you have to do is simply place like another pillar quartz block just on top of these stone brick stairs, and then that will be perfectly fine. We're just going to make sure that the right hand side of the roof here also overhangs like this. And what's different on this side is we also want to have a row of dark oak wood slabs here that is at the top of the roof and also overhangs. And we still want the usual upside down stone brick stairs that overhangs this part of the roof. Plus, we also want the row of stone brick slabs that comes from one side to the other. So we're just going to we'll do this part of the roof here on the left hand side, and we're just going to connect it together. It's actually really difficult to try and explain to you how it connects together, but it's kind of easy to figure out. Like, as you build the roof, you'll see how it does. Like, as you build the roof, as you add more of it together, you'll see how it kind of it all becomes one. So it just wants to look a little something like that. Let me make sure that I get it right on the back of the house. There we go. And this wants to, obviously, we might on the back, we'll make it overhang by an extra row, and that will make it fit comfortably. So on the back, instead of it overhanging the back of the house by one, add an additional layer so that it's overhanging by two instead, and then it will more comfortably fit the roof on the back, because the back is kind of like a few different lengths in different places. It's just better for us if we do it like this, if we add an extra layer that overhangs. So it does overhang the back of the house, it overhangs the French door section here, but it won't actually overhang the back of the house here. So we're just going to extend this row over to the back like this. Actually, it will overhang, because we'll bring it down as far as here. And like I said, a lot of this is just kind of like okay, so we're going to have to make it overhang yet another row to make it fit. Like, this is something that I didn't actually include in my plans, but we just want to keep making the roof overhang until it fits together, which is sometimes what you've got to do. I didn't realize that I actually added this many rows for the back as I did last time, so it's Okay, now that the house actually overhangs, it actually looks a little bit better, so we can make it overhang all the way here. And we're just going to have to change some blocks from dark oak wood to stone bricks. So, I apologize, but I bet that you guys are dealing with the same thing. You're like, if you would have just followed along with what I said, and like I kind of just like fast forwarded this or tried to cut it out, you probably have the same problems. So you just want to make sure that it all does connect together nicely like this, and it does overhang a little bit more on the back than I wanted, but what can you do? We need to make sure that the roof actually fits together, and of course we do still want to have the upside down stone brick stairs at the back, and we do want to, once we've got that, we want to make sure that they connect together using the stone brick slabs like this, like that, and that still looks perfectly fine, if not a little bit dark, but we can always change that later. We can always brighten it up a little bit. So in the original, I didn't actually have this big of an overhang, but I'm finding now that I really would prefer it if it did overhang at the back a bit more, so that the roof does look a little bit nicer, and we do have the same problem that we have here, that we had on the other side, in which we have to make sure that we have to add another row of pillar quartz block, where we wouldn't. We just have to add a row of pillar quartz block on top of the quartz blocks here as well, and that will make it so that the roof is actually in the correct position there, and then we can add the dark oak wood stairs. So I've actually just made this build a little bit better because the roof is a bit nicer now. So there we go, the roof's been made a little bit nicer in doing that, and now we can proceed to connect it together. So again, it's like connecting the left hand part of the roof to the right hand part of the roof. It's just you get a feel for how it's done as you're doing that. That's pretty much all I can tell you. I'm sure that you'll know what I'm talking about as you do it yourself, and I'm kind of glad that we've just fixed that, because the back of the house, I wasn't 100% happy with how the roof connected together, although it does now mean that we're going to have to find a light source for the back top part of the house. We're going to have to find a little bit of a light source just so that it isn't so dark in that overhang, because we don't want that. We don't want it to really be that dark, to be honest, but we can do that later. It'd even, if you wanted to, it'd kind of even leave you open to having a balcony on the second floor. I'm heavily considering changing the house a little bit now, because now what we have is we have a perfect opportunity to add a little bit of a balcony at the back. I think what I'm just have to stop the TV turning off. I'm sorry, guys. It gives us a perfect opportunity to add a nice little balcony at the back if we can step out onto the stone brick slabs. Now, I'm not sure whether I should do that. I intentionally kept this house this shape for a reason, and I didn't really want to add anything to the house that it didn't really have, like, structurally speaking. Like, I know that I've added some things that are cosmetic, but I've not really changed the structure of the house. I mean, that might make no sense to you whatsoever, like, but what I basically mean is, like, this is the house, the shape of the house is pretty much the same. I've just reskinned it a little bit. Like, I've not really changed the structure. The house has all of these things. I don't want to change that. And by adding a balcony, I'm adding something that I just don't have. So I don't think I'm going to do it, although it would be a perfect opportunity for one. I really want to make another British style house that doesn't have these similar restrictions, and I could do a really good job of it. But there we go, that's the roof. The roof looks really good on the front, and now if we have a look at the side, the roof, we have to add the upside down stone brick stairs here, and we also have to add the stone brick slab. We have to add the upside down stone brick stairs here, and they want to also connect together at the top here on this side also. And on the back, we now have a roof that fits together actually a lot nicer, although, like I said, it is a little bit dark up here, but that's easily changed. We can add some lights here now. So that's the structure of the house pretty much complete. The only thing we're missing is on the back side of the house here, we want to, coming from behind this pillar quartz block, this one right here, you guys can see the one coming from behind this block, we want to place a row of 9 hardened clay coming back from the back right hand part of the house. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we want to crumb across the house by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to connect back like this. And we actually want to add a window to this. So near the end here, we just want to add like a 2-block window. Now we'll add a 3-block window, so 3 upside down quartz stairs. And now we're going to add white stained glass paint on top of the quartz stairs. And we also need enough room for a door, so we can have a nice double door here if we leave this row. So this is actually a utility room at the back here. So you can see what I've kind of just done to it here. This is a utility room at the back. So we came back by 9, we've come across by 4, we've done 3 upside down quartz stairs, we've then connected to the house, we've added a layer of glass on top of the quartz stairs, a layer of clay, connecting everything together, and now we have 2 holes in which we can actually enter and exit the utility room. The rest of the utility room wants to be as high as it currently is now, so just add layers of hardened clay on top of this until you're satisfied with the height of the utility room. This is where we keep our like fridge, freezer and stuff like that. I'm going to fill the top of the utility room in with hardened clay. And now I'm going to add a layer of quartz slab that goes around the top of this just to make it a bit more interesting. So, oh, wrong row. I'm going to add a layer of quartz slab around the top of this just to make it look a little bit nicer, because otherwise it's a bit boring. We also have to add a little step down here onto the patio, and if you want, you can also add, like, I don't know, just to make it look just a tad bit more interesting, you might want to add something to make the entrance nicer, although I'm actually not going to do that too much. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to mess about with it. But there you go, nice little utility room on the back of the garden, which should be equal in length to the garage, by the way, just in case you're curious. So what we're now going to do, once that is all sorted out, we have to take care of the garden and stuff like that. So for the garden, we're going to do the front first. We want to take out our polished andesite. So we want to, starting from the front right-hand corner of the house where we have this pillar quartz block, we want to dig into the ground and we want to have a row of 10 andesite in the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we want to place andesite in the ground, like that. We then want to take that 10th block of andesite and we want to dig a left of it, and we want to dig a left until we are in line with the drain pipe on the front of the house, and we want to connect to it. And we also want to dig past it and we want to connect to the garage. We're also going to place andesite in here. So, place andesite all the way in here. We also want to dig out in front of the left-hand part of the garage, and we want to place a row of andesite that is equal in length to the rest of the andesite at the front of the house. Like this. That is perfecto. Now what we want to do is we want to create a fence. So this is what the fence looks like. It's made out of a little bit of oak wood planks, mainly spruce, and you need spruce wood planks of this, and probably spruce wood slabs would be an asset as well. And it begins here. So where the inline of the porch here, where we have like the doorbell and the mailbox, we want to have an oak wood plank in line with those two things. We want to connect each one of these together with a spruce wood slab with an oak wood fence gate in between them. We want to place spruce wood slabs on top of the oak wood, and we also want to place buttons in front of the oak wood planks themselves, like this. We then want to go left, or right, I suppose, right of the fence, right of the gate, and we want to place a row of regular facing spruce wood stairs coming all the way to the right. And we want to place on the corner an oak wood plank. We then want to do a row of spruce wood stairs that connects to the front of the house, except you want to connect with an oak wood plank. You then want to place spruce wood slabs on top of the oak wood, like this. And now we want to take out our stone slabs, and we want to create a nice little mini garden in the front garden using stone slabs. It kind of wants to be this shape right here. It can be a random shape. We want to then take out our signs, and we want to place signs on the inside and actually the outside as well. This is such a boring process. On the inside and outside of the fence, so you won't be able to do it on the corners, or at least one of the corners here, which is why actually you might want to, the two blocks that connect to the corner, left and right, you might want to replace them with a spruce wood, like spruce wood planks, because you won't be able to place the signs. But on the outer part of the fence as well, we also want to place our wooden signs, and this is going to create a cool effect for this. We can even place buttons if we want on the left and right of the oak wood planks, and we can then continue to just kind of like do our fence, which is a bit boring, a bit tedious, but it does look good. I've actually not created a fence that looks like this. It actually looks kind of cool. So that's kind of what we want to have vibing for the front garden. If you want, you can also drop a bone meal here and knock out the grass that isn't inside of this area, and they have pretty much my front garden, except we're missing the cobblestone and we're missing the stone slabs here for the drive, but we will take care of that later. But that's the front part of the house pretty much complete with most of the details. If we come to the back of the house, we want to more specifically come to the back corner of the garage. And starting from the back corner of the garage, we want to take this block right here. I want to make sure that we're getting this right. We want to take this block right here at the back corner of the garage, and we want to do a row of 8... no, it would be, let me adjust this. 7 spruce wood stairs coming backwards from this corner block. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to do 2 rows of spruce wood planks coming back, 1 and 2, and then coming across the back of the garden now, we want to do another spruce wood plank, and then we want to come all the way to the back of the utility room, which is here. We want to then, coming from the back corner of the utility room, we want to have a row of, once again, 7 spruce wood stairs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we want to have 2 rows of spruce wood planks. Then we want to, coming across the back of the garden, place a spruce wood plank with a row of spruce wood stairs coming across the back here, like this. And then on top of that, you can stack another layer of the materials that you just used. So where you just use the spruce wood planks, place spruce wood planks. Where you use the spruce wood stairs, place spruce wood stairs. And it's as easy as that. It'll look great. And if you like, you can actually change out some of the blocks for oak wood if you want. I'm not going to. I don't want to. But that is what you want to have. That's kind of like the back fence. And then the back fence, very tiresomely, wants to use... Where are we? We want to apply 2 layers of signs to this back fence. Only in front of the rows of stairs, mind you. And I'm not going to do it to the other side. I've actually not seen the other side of my fence at the back of the house, because obviously my house, like out of the back garden, is connected to the neighbor, like behind me's back garden. So I've never seen the opposite side of this fence. So I'm not going to add any detail to it, because who knows what they have back there. They could have all sorts of crazy things. They might have a big giant ladybird back there, a mutant ladybird stapled to the back of the fence, and I'd never know about it. And there's no way to recreate that detail in Minecraft, so I'm just not going to bother. And I'm just going to keep placing all of these signs. It's so... Oh, I hate this. Why did I create the fence like this? Why couldn't I have chose a different way to make this stupid fence? And I'm now just going to come across this way, And on top of this, we're also going to be placing a row of, what material did I use? I do believe, oh, I used the spruce wood fence again. We're getting imaginative with this fence, I see. And coming all the way across the back here, I'm going to, well, why not use some oak wood planks just to make it a bit more interesting? Oak wood planks and some spruce fence. I'm going to replace the corner blocks with oak wood planks, and plus I'm going to extend the corner blocks up by one row with the oak wood planks. And now I'm going to place a row of spruce wood fence that connects everything together, and this is going to be pretty much the back fence for the house, and we are just missing a couple of things here. So now that that is done, ladies and gentlemen, we now want to take out our, where is it? We want to grab our andesite. We also need some stone slabs. Some doors are in order as well. Like iron doors are fine, and get some levers. So the back of the garage, it's actually locked, so I'm going to have an iron door with a lever. You can also make this entrance a bit more interesting if you like, although it's quite dull back there. For the utility room, same deal, iron doors with a lever just because they're always locked. I'm going to replace this bottom row of stone slabs with stone brick slabs with stone slabs. I'm going to connect the back of the utility room to the back of the garage, and I'm going to do it by digging a row of polished andesite that comes all the way over to the right. I'm going to place andesite in every single block except for the one that actually connects to the garage, in which I'm going to place a stone slab inside there. I'm now going to take out my cobblestone wall, and I'm going to place cobblestone wall on top of the row of andesite, like that. Now I'm going to grab an oak wood sapling. I'm going to grab my old pal the bone meal, which I think I've thrown away. I'm going to plant an oak wood sapling right in this back corner here because I have a tree in the back garden. I don't know what it does, but it produces red berries. I don't know whether they're poisonous. And I'm also going to bone meal back here as well. My actual house also has a shed. However, I didn't really want to feel like, I didn't actually want to add it because it looks a little bit weird in this back garden. So I've left the shed out, but there's also a shed back here. We would also, in an ideal world, fill in the entire back of this patio part with stone slabs. However, I'm not doing that on recording. So, the only things left to do here, I would need to fill in the patio with stone slabs, I have to fill in the driveway with stone slabs, and I have to fill in the area in front of the house with cobblestone. I also have to light up each one of the redstone lamps scattered around the house, and I also have to add a little bit of light to this back portion of the house, which is easily achieved probably by adding a light sword to the inside of the house. So I'm going to do all of those things, and I'll be back and I'll show you how this house looks once I've made all of those little improvements. Alright, so this is what the house looks like once you've completely filled in the drive, once you've filled in the area in front of the house, and if we come back here, once you've also filled in the patio, you can now see that the inside of the house is actually quite nice and bright, which has reflected to the outside, so the outside is actually nice and bright now, so that it's not dark anymore. This is what the house looks like finished. Like, this is the garden, this is the complete outside. I will not be doing the inside. There is absolutely no way that I'm going to be doing that. If you want to see what the inside of the house looks like, by the way, check out my original version, my actual real life house in Minecraft tour. Like, the thumbnail looks like the picture that I gave you right at the beginning of this video. If you want to see the inside, that's how it actually kind of is, like, in real life. So, this is the house complete. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. It was really hard to put together. It was really hard to make a tutorial for. I hope that you liked the video, and if you do, please do drop this video a like. Smash that like button. I would absolutely love it if you could do that, because like I said, I spent a lot of time on this. It was hard to balance the house, like, keeping it as strong to the actual real version that exists, and like adding stuff to it which made it look a little bit nicer. It was hard to keep that balance. So please give the video a like, I'd appreciate that no end. If you do like the content, please do subscribe to the channel. I assure you that you will like loads of other stuff that gets posted. We don't just build houses and stuff around here, we do all sorts. If you do subscribe, say hello down there in the comments. I do respond to you guys. Unfortunately, I can't respond to every single person, but I do try my best to respond to a lot of you guys, especially if you're brand new subscribers. I do like you to have a nice warm welcome. Also, do click the little bell next to the subscribe button, and that'll ensure that you get every single video sent out from my channel directly to your sub box. It's a real problem. YouTube have to sort this thing out, and I won't have to keep asking you guys if they just sort it out. They should remove the bell altogether. If you do like my content, check out the comments, and you should comment and let me know what you want to see next. But you should also check out the card system and the description below, and you'll find loads of playlists in there. Playlists that have, like, Quartz House playlists. Like this one, you'd find a tutorial for this house in the Quartz House playlist, or you would also find this house in the Quartz House playlist, or this house. Or if you went into the Suburban House playlist, you would find a house that looks like this. This is Suburban House number 10. Or you would find this Suburban House in the Suburban House playlist. This is Suburban House number 11. And recently, I've been doing a couple of Christmas-themed houses. This isn't actually the best version of this house. This is a gingerbread house that got posted yesterday. Usually it has a tree outside and it has loads of snow and stuff. But you can just check out general house playlist, check out the channel, you might find some stuff that you like. If houses aren't really your deal, if you want to make more stuff than just houses, then I would highly recommend just checking out my Real World Buildings playlist, in which we make chip shops, pet shops, Wendy's, coffee shops. We make stuff like little cafes and barber shops, and more city style stuff, like those are townhouses and that's a train station, etc, etc. We do all sorts of stuff. Those are even more townhouses, and that's actually a post office on the corner. If none of that stuff is your jam, check out my Park Builds playlist, in which we have, well, loads of stuff. I mean, you can anyone see? Yeah, look at this. This is all of my Park Build stuff. You can find this in the Park Builds playlist. There's all sorts of crazy stuff in here, from playgrounds to soccer pictures to duck ponds to even houses. Again, if we come back to houses, this is the channel, like eco houses, and we also have, like, this is a nice little hobbit hole, and this is doing very well on the channel. This house, this is the ultimate survival house, and we have all sorts of stuff. My best example for something that's completely useless yet looks amazing: mini golf course. If you wanted to build one of those, but guys, check out the channel, check out the description below, check out the cards if you want to see all my other videos. The playlists are your friends. Go for